Dean, how we getting on?
I'm very good now, and yourself?
Not too bad. No, obviously, if you're just tuning in, you can see that it's just Alan and Dean. Last week, Brian made a statement that Dean wasn't going to be allowed, so we made an executive decision, Dean, didn't we?
Yeah, just a Knocknaheeny special today. So anyone from Grown has been banned from the show. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you know yourself.
Brian isn't available tonight, so we held our guest for next week. So we'll have another guest next week. So just to keep things going, I suppose myself and Dean said we'd just keep it going and have a chat. You may have seen some of our posts. We're just going to have a look back, really, at what the month was like. Obviously, January in itself, Dean, normally is a kind of a quiet month for most people, really, but share more than ever because nobody could do anything. How did you find, Dean? What did you and the family do past the month?
You know yourself now. January is generally the longest month of the year. It seems like it's 500 days long. But I thought it actually went quite quick this time because we were in lockdown, so you couldn't really do anything. So every day kind of mashed into the next one. We didn't really do much. We kind of sat around the house watching TV shows. We actually started Sopranos again for
I
the
actually, I actually
for the
never,
third
would
time.
you believe I never saw that entire series before? Like, I saw some of it, but never watched all of it. Like,
Yeah, we only just started the second series, and we finished Love Hate as well.
I actually watched that again, and I tell you now, I think Stuart Carlin is his name. He should definitely start another season. Like, there's ways, story writers can get around the whole there's only two characters left. But I think it's worth mentioning as well for people who are tuned in. If you'd like to get in contact with us tonight or anytime, you can basically contact us on all our normal social medias. But tonight specifically, just to kick off February with a bit of a bang, we're giving one person a nice takeaway voucher for themselves. So all you have to do if you want to give them a chance to win is just get in contact. So, Dean, you might just tell us how people can reach out to get their messages.
yeah, so they can message on Twitter and a message on Facebook. We actually got a message in straight away, so I have to show this one. So it's how did Everton get on, Dean? They actually did quite well for February, for January, to be fair. So I can't complain. I don't know who sent that in. I'm presuming they're a Liverpool fan. So I can check on Facebook who sent that in.
Yeah.
So if anyone does have any questions for us, they can just pop them in the chat, and we'll get them answered then straight away.
Yeah, and again, the voucher is just a takeaway voucher, really. Myself, Brian, and Dean are just throwing a few bob into the kitty. So you can basically have a takeaway maybe next Monday for the Monday Club. But just kicking off about January, like there's a lot of media coverage for specifically children in school. And obviously, whether you agree or disagree with what's going on, the harsh realities of it is that people like yourself and myself and thousands of other people have children at home. How are you getting on, Dean, with the whole homeschooling work regime?
Yeah, so I've been working from home since last March. Not a huge fan of it, to be honest. Prefer to be in the office. But I do find I'm actually getting more done at home than I would in the office. I'm sure there's probably less people to talk to or less distractions. With the kids then in school, we've one in first year and one in second class. So the first year he kind of does his own thing. So he's in his room, he's on his iPad, getting the work in and kind of just doing his own thing. But the 8-year-old, at that age, they get distracted way too easily. And we have a 13-month-old as well at home, so throw that in the mix then as well. We're all over the place. But she's doing quite. We had a call today with the teacher, so she's doing quite well, which is kind of expected of her anyway.
I think a big thing for me anyway, certainly, and some of the people watching might have tips or pointers like what do you do? How do you pass the day with the children with the homeschooling? Does your school have a regime of video calls, Zooms or Teams or Google Classrooms, or is it done with the one we're using, the Seesaw? That's the one that we're using. I have one daughter in transition year and two are in primary. So yeah, if there's any tips or pointers that you can have out there, by all means, send us in a message and just give us your take on it. But it's strange though, Dean. You said it like January actually passed very fast for me as well, I felt.
Yeah, it went really quick. I don't know what it was like. If I look at last year, January for me, because my dad passed in January last year, was an awful month, and the small one was sick as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just hoping coming into January that it would be a better month, but it went quite quickly. So I can't complain. I know we were all in lockdown and stuff like that, but we came through it unscathed. So why not to bother with it? And we're only 4 weeks left, and 4 and a bit weeks left, and what they're saying is the remaining lockdown. So
Yeah, well, like to be fair, I see some messages coming in there about what they're doing, but like again, as I said at the start, this isn't ever going to be a politics show, regardless of colours. It's irrelevant whether you agree or disagree. You just have to deal with the shit we're in, and the shit that we're in is probably going to go on a bit longer than March. Let's be real about it. But I just think the big thing. I don't know. Did you see the RT news tonight?
no, I'm not that old to watch the news yet.
I love the news. There was a young lad. He's doing a Monday podcast. Actually, he's doing a Monday podcast. Believe it or not, he's doing a podcast with his father about like positive motivation and how to do things. But his secrets are cut the grass when you can, get out of the house, and basically just be happy. And I just like fair play to him. He's only a young lad. He's doing it with his father. Like he started off just like us, pass a bit of time.
Yeah.
But I think that it's just that mindset. We've been doing this for so long now, as an individuals and as groups, and I think we're just kind of used to it now. The body's after getting used to it. I'd say. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Like we're doing it now for 10 months, 11 months, so it's becoming second nature to us. And we're all in it together then as well. Some people might think that others aren't in it and they're doing their own thing, which is fair enough. But the vast majority are actually doing it. Just we want to get we've got a good few chats.
Yeah, just while you're bringing it in, if you have just joined us, you're welcome along to the Monday Klub. My name is Alan. That's Dean. And tonight, because it's the start of February, we just want to give something back. So all you have to do, if you want to be in a chance to win a meal voucher, like a takeaway, a bit of a treat, just send us a message. Doesn't matter what it's on. Once it's not anything going to get us in trouble, and obviously no profanities, just send us a message and Dean can bring them up there on screen.
Yeah, so I'll actually bring up one from James, who was our guest 2 weeks ago. So we find homework a nightmare with my 9-year-old daughter. Hard to keep her focus, to be honest. It could go on for 3 hours. I'm sure a lot of people are in the same situation as well, especially with kids that age as well.
But here's a question, and I throw this out to people that are watching. The teachers obviously are being told, oh, they've an easy ride and all of this. The amount of work and preparation that I'd say are going into these classes must be huge, because they're not just thrown together in an hour. Like,
no, I'd say it's actually much harder for them, because they're in school, they're marking all the work as well. Like we get messages from teachers at 8 o'clock in the morning, what work they need to do for the day then as well. So
yeah,
and they're not done as well.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I seen something on the news during the week, or was it just TV? They did a kind of a diary. A teacher, he was replying to students at 10 o'clock at night after being on the Zoom class or whatever he's doing at 9 o'clock in the morning. So, like I'm not advocating for anything other than helping. Like they're still helping the children, but as James said, it can take quite long. Hence why teachers are paid to do what they do, because we're shit teachers, basically parents.
The rest of it get frustrated. I just want to point out one thing is there's a couple of messages coming in saying Facebook user. No, I will be able to get the name from Facebook as well, so they will be in with a chance to win that voucher as well.
Okay. Brian, while he's not here, he's still. Go back to that one there, Dean. Crowlers. Oh yeah, so this one is my nephew, and he's a future Elon Musk type of a dude. He has a setup at home, right? He has super duper computers and all this stuff, but he just set up his own Twitch page. So yeah, big shout out to Alex Crowley. It's Crowlers, yeah. So he's fighting a real struggle. He's in Glanmire and he's no broadband.
That's a double whammy.
So and he's genuinely like he's shit out of what he does. But I was just saying there, Brian is not here on screen, but you can give in one of his messages there. He's still in contact with us. Just as I said, he's otherwise engaged tonight.
Yeah, so the best thing I've got into this is walking and Apple Fitness is great.
#plug.
Yeah, I'll sell it. 7-minute workout. No both sides and no parent teacher. Yeah, so you know yourself.
Yeah,
some people in that situation as well.
Yeah, so getting away from the school thing, and again, if you have just joined us, if you ever want to get involved with the show, or if you've any ideas, here's how you can get involved. Dean might have the video ready there for us.
Yeah.
Hi everybody, it's Alan from Unity here, and we're asking you if you'd like to get involved. If you're a community group, sporting organisation, or indeed a business you'd like to take part, we'd love to hear from you. You can contact us on our usual social media platforms, of course our website unitymedianetwork.com.
Yeah, so the social media is the main place you can get in contact. I know Dean will be bringing stuff on screen as we go. Do you want to take that message there, Dean?
Yeah, so this one's from Sean. And it's true what he's saying, that many teachers probably have their own kids, family to deal with, and too, in fairness, and they're probably up the walls as well. So we all have the same situation. So we'll feel their pain as well.
Yeah, thanks for the message, Sean. It is very relevant. My niece's husband is a secondary school teacher, and he has a young baby. He has a 3.5-year-old child, and he's saying, trying to map out your day, you get the information up, but then you have all these students coming back at different stages with different questions and stuff like that. So yeah, just moving it away from the teacher side of it, this is something that I really want to get people's input on. Okay, if you're watching and you have a car and you drive, then you need to have car insurance and road tax. My question is, and I think a lot of the mainstream media should be dealing with this. Should road tax just be abandoned for the time we're in? Because you pay road tax to keep roads and be able to use the roads. But why should we be paying road tax if we're all supposed to be staying within 5 kilometres? What do you think about that, Dean?
I don't think it should be abandoned. I'd maybe cut down. But where do you draw the line then? So because people are using the roads all the time, do they pay the full amount? And how do you prove that your car's off the road? I don't know, if you get a car and it's out of tax for X amount of time, you can go to the guards and say it's been off the road because I bought it from someone else or something like that, and you get a certificate, and that'll cover you for that length of time for the tax.
But you have to do that now in advance. So years and years ago, we all did it. You'd leave your tax go for a month, and you'd say, she was off the road. You get the form signed, long drawn or whatever. That's now gone. You have to tell them in advance.
My car's going to be off the road.
Yeah. So that loophole is gone. But I just heard somebody on the radio last week, and it was a very good point. And they said, car insurance. Did you get any refund off your car insurance last year?
We got a voucher from the insurance company. That was it.
Yeah. So I didn't get any. My wife didn't get any. I know some of my sisters did, but then others didn't. And there's a very good point after coming in there from James as well. I think they have this in another country, that I've always said tax should be on the fuel. I agree. Those who are driving 50,000 kilometers or 5,000 kilometers should pay accordingly. And that kind of comes back to your point, really, Dean. How do you draw the line on it? But yeah, it's just mind-boggling, because no insurance company had to give back this money. They didn't have to.
Yeah, they didn't have to. Like Sean saying there, Sean got a 20 quid super value voucher. They didn't have to do that. It was nowhere in their terms and conditions that they have to give you a refund or a voucher because you're going to be driving less.
No. But it's the same at the travel insurance. Some people who have multi-trip travel insurance, they generally pay in advance or a monthly subscription or whatever. What's happening to those people? Is there anybody watching who has travel insurance, multi-trip, and do you get stuff back off of that? Who knows? Like, but it's just an interesting one. Like, I don't know. I've often thought, like, we're paying all of these taxes for what at the moment?
Well, what are you supposed to do? Say, oh, scrap it all together? Or people are just going to say, don't have a car. I know some people have a car as a luxury. They don't really need to have the car, so
Yeah,
that's the situation now. But I think James's point, and it's your own point as well, is definitely added onto the fuel. But then, do garages take liberties in?
I could be wrong on this now, but I think it's somewhere like Sweden or somewhere like that. That basically your car insurance, your tax is all built into your fuel. So again, it's one of those things the government could look at to make it a fairer society for everybody.
Get on to Tommy Gould, he sorted out.
I will get on to our friend. Just as well for people if they're wondering what's happening for this month. So we do have people lined up. So we're going to be talking to a guest that's living abroad. They're an Irish person, they're a Cork person, and they're living abroad. So we want to get their take on what's going on to them in their lives during the pandemic. Many businesses have had to learn to adapt during the pandemic. Many businesses have had to reinvent, have somebody that's representing an industry that was a one-to-one style business. They'll be chatting to us during the month as well. And Dean, you might fill us in on the sporting side of things.
Yeah, so we want to get people that are involved in sports at the moment and how it's affecting them, whether it be clubs or individual players as well. I know we got a few messages to the page about a couple of lads that played darts from the north side as well. So I know it does affect their game, but it wouldn't affect it as much as it would to the likes of a GA team or a football team. So if they want to get in touch with the page, and we get them on as well and have a chat. Just moving off from that, I find as well that with social media, we're all on social media a lot more, and when it comes to people that have to make their money through arts, so the likes of Chris Kent actually has gone back being an electrician. So he's the money he's made from arts is completely gone. But then if you look at other stand-up comedians or guys that are in comedy troupes and stuff like that, they're trying to push their act on social media a lot more. Yeah. So the one I didn't really follow him until probably November time, and it was it's Ty Hickey from Cahoots.
Legend, yeah.
And the stuff he posts is fantastic, and it's so true as well. And he actually posted a video today, and we're just going to share it there in a few moments.
This is class. Like, this is literally to a T, especially of the types of people that use these things. So if you haven't seen it, Ty Hickey, he's been doing the Brian O'Donovan impersonations for the last couple of months. He's from Cahoots. He's fantastic. You should definitely follow him. So yeah, just have a watch of this if you haven't seen it. It's class.
I'm so sick of COVID and lockdowns, and this government has to go. Are you up for a row, Facebook? COVID's a scam, Twitter. Wake up, sheeple. It was invented by Bill Gates and George Soros and a lizard, I think. Wow. Poor take, man. Do you want to take it back or discuss it or anything? Too late. You're cancelled there now. What's your angle, Insta? Huh? Oh, is this okay? Lads, hashtag be kind, yeah? We're all in this together, and live, laugh, love. I can't put up with ye much longer. Oh, FML. Typical me. Kicked out of my house in the middle of a pandemic. Wow, nice flatmate. Yeah, well, karma's a bitch. Oh, mate, just do better, yeah? This is it? Oh, yeah, well, look, it's extremely versatile. It's 100% cotton, and if you order today from the good people at Miss Coochie Goo, it's next day delivery. What day is it, actually? Oh, my God. Tonight is going to be 21/21 on the 21st day of the 21st year of the 21st century. That must mean something. Like what? Ow! It's the universe, guys. What's the universe? Like everything. It's telling us we're going to get through this and we're perfect the way we are. Guys, do you think it's okay to hire better looking kids than your own for photos? Do you think it's alright to go out with your cousin? Why not, man? Get her a nice little dress for the date on MissCoochieCoo.com. I have a collab with them. Right, that's it. You're both out. You too, TikTok. Where's that come from?
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Like the last one, I think is just you obviously know you probably have teenagers and children using this, but like that TikTok wrecks my head.
I don't have it.
And I don't either, but all my daughters have it. Now some of the videos are alright, but it's just those people like that are bouncing up and down and trying to do stuff. I just think, fair play to those who do it. Like, but there's just a point there actually, Dean, from COS Systems. You can see that one.
That's Conor O'Sullivan.
Conor, yeah. Basically, I just think that's a good one. That they have to give you a reimbursement. The reimbursement was not for how much you drove. The amount of claims going down statistically, premiums were based on years and projected claims. That's true, but earlier in the pandemic, people did ring up and question stuff, but it's just not happening. I don't.
Controversial one from Conor as well.
Lockdown in the 1980s would have been a lot different.
It'd be worse, I'd say, because we'd be all at the front.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that's actually something that did you see the video there a couple of months back about basically people that lived through the war and lived through the Spanish flu and lived through something else and something else and something else, and it was like basically we're doing all right because we have Netflix, we have Amazon Prime, we have Disney, we have Sky, we have IPTV subscriptions, we have Wi-Fi. It's actually when you look at it that way, taking a positive from the negative, I think we're actually doing all right when you think of it.
Yeah, because we have so much to distract us. So we could do this. Like, what would you be doing on a Monday night back in? We're probably too young for the 80s, to be honest. So just say the early 90s.
Yeah,
just
like
watching rubbish.
Yeah, I do think though, and I know James is watching. Like Boys and Girls in Naka is a great page for reminiscing. But there's obviously other people. Like I know my own sister. She's after finding photographs from donkey's years old in the last couple of months herself. So like there is positives to be taken from being in the lockdown, which is spending more time with our families, spending more time at home. Yeah, but no, it is like, I mean, a good friend of ours, Damien Treen, and as you know, he's a self-employed person. He changed his lifestyle around his business early last year because he realized how much he was actually working. Like that must be hard for people to do, I would imagine.
Yeah, so if you have the routine, I'm sure Damien would say this, that his routine, I'd say before lockdown, like I would have followed him on Instagram and on Twitter, up at 6 o'clock in the morning, working probably 14 hours a day, and then all gone. So he had to change everything. So and he's been actually quite successful since he's changed it. Then so I know we shouldn't be talking because he's not here.
Well, we spoke to him, myself and Brian spoke to him mid-lockdown last year. So he's on record as saying he changed his business models and he's done a lot of charity as well. So fair play.
Yeah, but that's it. He's changed his whole lifestyle. He's changed his business model. He's done stuff for charity. He's probably done more than what most of us have done. Simply because he's someone that can't sit still. But he said as well that he's seen more of his kids as well. So he's seen that as a bonus.
Yeah, so, no, definitely. I think like what does February bring for you, Dean? So obviously we have our Monday Klub. This is our bit of sanity on a Monday and the preparation that goes into the show between myself and Brian during the week. Like what do you think is going to be different for you in February, if at all, or is it just going to be the same Groundhog Day every day? Like
it's probably going to be the same. We were actually talking yesterday that we've decided to branch out the food that we eat, or the recipes that we do, and my wife's fantastic at cooking. So before you'd say, "Oh, let's go for a meal," but why would you want to go for a meal when you're just going to be disappointed? So we have our wedding anniversary in 2 weeks. So we're 16 years.
9th.
No, it's the 15th.
Oh, I wasn't far off.
Close enough. So we were our 16-year wedding anniversary. 30 plus tax. The missus' birthday. Again, some luck there.
You're going to be shot when you get off this. You're going to be shot.
Plus fat. It's only 9% fat. It's all right. And that's about it, really. That's all. We don't really plan that far ahead.
I don't think anybody is.
You can't really. No.
Like for us, obviously, what we're doing with Monday Klub, we're planning out shows and stuff. But the only, I suppose, one of the main positives really for a lot of people, specifically that have school-going children, is that some of the children that are now getting into the mojo of using the online facility, we're a small bit closer, because there's talks that the schools will be going back, even if we're still in a kind of a form of a lockdown. So
yeah, there was on the news a while ago that there's the special needs schools are going back in a couple of weeks' time, and then there's another lot going back the week after. So you're probably looking at a couple of weeks after that before they look at sending back everyone again. And the Minister for Education was actually correct saying that if you're sending 1 million people out in the streets at 8 o'clock in the morning, that's where the numbers start going back up again. So I think they're going to do baby steps when it comes to sending back to school.
yeah, like the Facebook user there sent a message, lockdown in the 80s would mean people would have to talk to each other.
But it's true, like,
It is true.
Talk face to face. Which would be
How many of us have set up WhatsApp? Like, we've hundreds of WhatsApp groups on our phones. And I know one of my own sisters basically left the WhatsApp group, and she was like, if you want to ring me and have physical communication, you can do it on the phone, not sending a message. Whereas back then, you physically would have had to communicate with people. But again,
I said that to the small fella. I said, if you wanted to go and have a game of ball, you either organise it in school, that I'll call up to you at X time, or you physically have to go over and knock on the person's house and say, are you coming out? It's not that anymore. They have to. They all message you now. So
no, and I think we've a couple of minutes left, but for the minutes that are left, I'd like to get people's views on this very simple question. If we reopened in the morning to some form of normality, would you go out to a busy public restaurant / bar / shop immediately? Just throwing it out there for the few minutes we have left, if anyone. Would you, Dean?
no.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't be a big pub goer anyway, so a pub being closed doesn't make much difference to me, to be honest. I was like,
not even pubs. Like, I mean, like restaurants. Go, like you mentioned, your anniversary, right? If in a normal situation, most people would go out for a treat. It could be a birthday or an anniversary. I don't think people would feel comfortable. I could be wrong, right? But
you'd have. It's wrong to tar people with a brush now, but you'd have people between 18 and 45. You'd have a higher amount of them would go out rather than people that are over 45, because I think the people over 45 would be a little bit more afraid to go out now.
Like, I'm not even talking about the virus. I'm talking about some people. There's two afraid. There's afraid of, God, look at him over there. He's gone out. Does he know he's not going to go? And you've the risk of the virus side of it. Like, but yeah, it's something we just got to get used to, and that's why I was just asking, like, if people are thinking like that, will that suddenly change people's viewpoint then when it actually does happen?
Yeah, I think the restaurants would be a lot safer than a bar. So just as an example, Clancy's only just opened before lockdown happened. So like they could easily move it around. So it'd be lots. You probably be safer to go to a restaurant than you would be to go to even to go to a shop like the pennies or something like that, to be on top of each other. So that's not going to happen inside a restaurant.
No, the controlled environment, like, yeah, and I think so. That leads us on nicely. Dean's point there, I wouldn't either. I'm wait for a bit before going out again. How's Dean? Thanks for the message. So again, for people who might have joined us late, any of the messages or posts that came in, we're just basically going to say thanks for watching. So there's a voucher going to be given to somebody for a takeaway. We'll sort it with a takeaway. Because normally January is the month that I think typically we call it dry January, or we go off stuff because we're after eating so much during Christmas. But I think that's gone out the window for a lot of people now, because we're probably eating and drinking since last March. Some of us, not all of us.
Yep.
So yeah, I think looking ahead for the month, Dean, we've some really good guests lined up. Oh, and another thing to mention as well that we're going to be working on is we reached out to charity in town that help the homeless of Cork, and Dean and Brian, because it's within their 5K, they're going to be speaking to these people in an open setting basically next week about the charity, and we're going to have a guest on, I think, in a couple of weeks' time from the charity. But again, Dean, you might just bring up some of the avenues people can contact us there. Again, just give them a plug how they can get in contact with us if they're involved in a charity or whatever.
Yeah, so the main pages they can contact us on will be the Facebook page or the Twitter page. They'll be the ones that we would be on more often than anything else. So if anyone wants to message us on those or contact us individually as well, they can always just drop us a message. Now, when we're asking people, do they have any questions or anything like that, they don't have to come onto the show if they have any questions about anything. They can just, as you see Facebook users coming up, you can be anonymous if you wish. So get in contact and get involved as well, and we'd love to hear from everyone.
Yeah, like I had somebody rang me last week just asking questions about the show and what we're doing or whatever. Like ultimately it's a platform that we want to help people either to gain some information or give some information. And today was just about having a bit of a chat, a banter, looking ahead for the month for everybody that's watching, and to get them thinking, okay, maybe it's not as shit as what I think it is, and there's a way that everyone else is in the same boat. But like somebody there mentioned the cinema and the restaurants. It's the cinema is what I miss the most, because I would go to the cinema all the time with my kids or my wife or whatever. That's the one thing that I miss.
Yeah, it's during lockdown I got to go to when the cinemas opened in August. So I got to go to see Star Wars. I wouldn't be a fan of Star Wars, but I got to go to see one of the older ones. I think it was one of the older ones. They're all the same anyway. I got to see Batman in the Omniplex, and I went to see Tenet then in August as well. So
Any good?
It's fantastic.
Is it a kind of a mindy kind of? Do you need to be going in there after having 4 cans of Red Bull to understand it, like, and be alert?
No. Just I'd say watch it a couple of times. Probably be your best option, I'd say.
Yeah, I got to the cinema with my daughter for her birthday in December. It was literally closing like 2 days later. We were down in Blackpool, and there was 7 of us went in the one, like from the family. There was no one else in there, so I was telling all the kids I rented a private screen for my daughter's birthday.
Charge them all at tenner each.
Yeah.
For private viewing.
But no, that's it. I suppose. Look, we'll start wrapping up again. Thanks very much to Dean to man the fort for the computer and all the videos and stuff in Brian's absence today. Thanks to everybody for sending in their messages. I'm going to let Brian pick the winner from all the messages when he scrolls through them tomorrow, and we'll contact you again just to say thanks. It's just something small, just to say thanks from ourselves. But the Monday Club will be going every Monday. We have some really good guests lined up. I'm looking forward to hearing Dean's contacts. We're waiting on a couple of replies, Dean.
Yeah. A couple of big ones. Yeah,
without divulging too much information in case it falls in our ass.
Yeah.
Who are those people? Like, who's in your phone book?
It's a vast phone book. Without naming anyone. I don't know. How would I say it? A footballer and proper football, no, not that GA stuff. And a proper DJ as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, he's good, all right.
Oh, he's class, yeah. But I was laughing. I was watching this video on YouTube a few weeks ago. You know, some DJs, they have their phones like stationed over their equipment. Somebody basically put in a comment, "What are you twisting that button for?" Because all they were doing, I'm not going to name the DJ, they were just rocking on, and they weren't twisting anything.
For sure.
Yeah, but there was nothing happening to the button.
Yeah.
So that's the disadvantage of the modern world as well. You can be kind of pretending you're doing stuff and there's nothing happening. So yeah, Dean, thanks very much. If you want to close us out, and any other comments that you want to bring up there before you finish up?
No, I just want to say thanks to everyone that's messaged. We got a lot of responses, a few messages to my personal chat as well. So I'll name them. I'll talk with them next week. But yeah, it was kind of cool running the show for Brian. Don't think there's any mishaps, to be honest. We got there in the end anyway. So thank you to everyone.
No, fair play. Looking forward to it. So again, next week we'll be back with a full complement of people, and obviously our guests. We just put them out. It wasn't fair to bring the guest on today when Brian was going to be involved, so we said we'd hold on to it. So fair play. Well done to everybody as well, and best of luck. Who's going to win the voucher?
Me.
We're open to bribes. Thanks very much, Dean, for play. Thanks, lads. Stay safe. Do the cheesy wave.